Let's make these delicious sourdough breadsticks. So first we're going to start with our trusty kitchen scale and a big bowl. We're going to add our warm water. We're going to zero out our scale and add our sourdough starter. Now this is a fully mature starter that I fed the night before. I knew I wanted these breadsticks for dinner the next day, so I fed it the night before so it could grow and activate throughout the night and be ready to mix this in the morning. We then add our bread flour. I just get this at Costco. And for my breadsticks, I've always used just a white bread flour. You can totally feel free to experiment and use wheat if you would like. I get my hand wet, and then we're gonna mix these three ingredients together. Now, I've been baking bread for 30 years. I always love to use my KitchenAid or my Bosch. However, if I'm just doing one batch of sourdough, I honestly love to just mix it with my hands. I find this is a great stress relief, and it gives you a great feel for where your dough is in the process of the fermentation. I'm going to use this plastic bench scraper and clean up my hands, clean up the side of the bowl, give it a good flip. We're going to cover it and let it rest for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we're going to go ahead and add our last final ingredients. We're going to measure out our salt. I like to use a pink Himalayan sea salt and a little bit more warm water just to help that salt kind of dissolve and then get it into our dough. After mixing, we're going to add that in, and our final ingredient will be some melted butter. Then you guessed it, we're going to get our hand wet and mix all of this together. Now, keep in mind that salt has an attribute where it likes to suck water, so it has a harder time mixing into the dough. You can see there that it's kind of resisting it, but after some just good old-fashioned elbow grease, you can see that it's getting into the dough and it acclimates very well. We're going to give it one flip here, clean up the sides, and let it rest for 30 minutes. That is all of our ingredients. Now, I like to transfer it to this food container that has a lid. You can see the measurements on the side. Those measurements are awesome when you're bulk baking more than one loaf. But honestly, for one batch like this, I love using this container for rising. We're gonna cover it and let it sit for 30 minutes. At this point, we're gonna start our series of stretch and folds. We're gonna take one side of the dough, reach it up, and fold it over on itself. Turning the container, we're going to do it to each side. Now, I know this seems like a lot, but I just do this in the morning when I'm doing household things, projects, set my watch timer for 30 minutes and come and do this, and it's so simple and quick. We're going to cover it, let it rest for 30 minutes. Here will be our second series of stretch and folds. Now, guys, I will put a link to all of these products in the notes below. This is a great container. I truly do love baking with it, and it has kind of changed up my sourdough. You can see there, I leaned in and I like to smell the dough. Okay, I promise it's not weird. You will get a feel for how sour it will be, how sweet it will be, and you'll get to recognize your dough, your starter. So now we're on our third series of stretch and folds. You can see little bubbles. The carbon dioxide is starting to develop in there. We're going to cover it and let it rest for 30 minutes. Now we're on our final series of stretch and folds. You can see the development of this dough. The carbon dioxide bubbles are there. You can see that it's the gluten has been developing, and it is starting to feel different. It has like almost a little cloud-like texture. However, you will see that even more so after our bulk fermentation. Wow, that was hard to say. All right, we're gonna cover it. And now we're done with stretch and folds. We're gonna put our lid on and place it in a warm place. You can see here, I just put it on my oven, covered it with a towel, and depending on the temperature in your kitchen, will depend on how long you need to bulk ferment. This is my dough before, and after 3 to 4 hours, this is my dough now. You can see that it has expanded and it is starting to rise. That starter and bacteria is eating that sugar, giving off the carbon dioxide, and Oh, it just has such a great feel to it. So now we're doing breadsticks. So we're gonna go ahead, and this is a lightly oiled pan. I've lightly oiled my hands, and that dough is gonna just pour right out. You can see there that kind of cloud-like structure and all of those bubbles. I like to go around and pop the bubbles, especially those really large ones, just so we don't have large bubbles along the edges. But you are gonna get that in your breadsticks, which I love. They're little flavor pockets. So we're gonna stretch our dough to the edges of our pan. And then we're gonna put some melted butter on there. We're gonna use a basting brush and baste it all over our breadsticks. And this will give flavor to our breadsticks, but it will also create a place that's gonna hold our seasonings once we put them on. And next we're gonna add our seasonings. This is a garlic powder. And then I like to use a seasoned salt. Now, friends, you use whatever seasonings you love. Honestly, I do sometimes mix it up, but these are kind of my base staples. I love to use the Italian seasonings. So this is a basil. I like to grow my own basil and dry it and put it in this old Costco container, which is awesome. And then we're gonna add oregano next. I also like to add thyme, but I am out of time. That sounds crazy, but I didn't add it here. Anyway, our last seasoning we're gonna use here is our Parmesan. Now, when my kids were growing up, we also like to add like a mixed shredded cheese. It was really yummy. I slowed down the film here. I wanted to show you this plastic paint scraper. This is what I used all the years my kids were growing up to cut our breadsticks like this. However, since making sourdough, I have invested in this metal bench scraper. They're not expensive. The plastic one though is even less, but the metal bench scraper does make it much easier. So here you can see we are going to cut our breadsticks a little over 1 inch apart, just going down. And then we're gonna cut the length of the pan. This will give us the shape of our breadsticks. Now, be sure to follow along because I do have 2 future videos coming. One that will show our twisty breadsticks and one that will show our breadsticks on a stick, which are so fun for kids. But after this, I'm gonna get all that goodness off that scraper, put them on our breadsticks, and then we're gonna let them rest. We're gonna cover and put in a warm place for 30 minutes. Now it is time to bake our breadsticks. We're gonna preheat our oven to 350 and bake these for about 18 minutes. I say about because how you'll know they're done is while they're in the oven, just kind of peek underneath with a spatula and the bottom should be lightly brown. Oh, look how great those look. They are so good, you guys. You're gonna wanna let them cool and then they're ready to serve. We love to serve these with our favorite sauce, like a marinara. I love ranch. Alfredo is wonderful, but whatever your favorite sauce is. We would do this for Friday pizza night with our kids, and we do have a video coming for sourdough pizza crust. Be sure to follow for that as well. But we would do it that with pasta or on a soup night in the wintertime. So yummy, dipping into a delicious taco soup. Now, when my kids were growing up, the boys, especially with teenage boys, these were done in a night. However, if they don't get eaten all in one night, they store great, like in a plastic bread bag with the twisty tie, or even in these cute Amazon brown bags. They warm up awesome if you want to just throw them on a plate in the microwave for 15 to 20 seconds. They really do store well. I'd love to hear how these turn out for you. Please let me know in the comments. I hope you'll follow along. And from my kitchen to yours, happy baking, friends.